welcome to this video. Playing a 15-minute game against Lazarillo DT. Is this right? Lazarillo. I always have problems telling L and I's apart. Is this Lazarillo or Iazarillo? Okay. Oh, it's got a very fresh 15-minute rating here. So you can see here, it's just 2 games, so the rating is a bit inflated, it seems, comparing to his 5-minute rating. Yeah, as regularly observed, the playing strength of the opponents in the 15-minute games is sometimes in comparison relatively low to the 5-minute games. Simply far less players interested in playing longer time controls. There is also a 45-minute format here on the ICC, which I tried out as well. The problem there is that you barely get any opposition. In 15-minute games it's a bit easier, but still you have many very uneven uneven matchups. Still, I like to do the games in this time control. They provide more insight, so I have simply a bit more time to talk about various things. And I'm pretty what the heck is he doing here? Never seen Queen D4. It's not such an unusual move. Not quite sure about the name of this line. I guess it has a name. I think someone wrote to me much earlier, some month ago, that this is called the Chekhova variation. Okay, A6. Yeah, this is one of the theoretical main lines. One point being that knight c6 would have been answered by bishop b5. Not a problem for black, but he's just preparing this move. He wants to win a real tempo on the queen. There is c4 here. It's one move. However, Carlsen had played h3 here, which I have tried out before. Maybe not on video, but I think I tried it in correspondence style game on chess.com. The move h3 has a very interesting idea. Instead of h3, white here in this position very often goes c4, setting up the Maroczy bind. But he wants to avoid that black is able to play bishop g4 and exchange the bishop for the knight. And this is why h3 is first played, so that bishop g4 is not possible. My plan is that basically whatever black is doing, yeah, like this, I'm going to play c4 and set up the Maroczy bind. Yeah, let's do this. It's always a bit weird with those queen moves, but it's not a big deal really. The queen is not terribly badly placed on e3. It cannot be hit by a piece, for example. Of course, you cannot in any way refute black's play with this type of opening. This certainly wasn't Carlsen's intention when he played this against Gavain Jones in the London Chess Classics. I think it was in 2012. Yeah, maybe they had exactly this position. If not, it is really close. Yeah, the queen on e3, it blocks the bishop from c1, but very often b3, bishop b2 is a good idea anyway. So, or let's say it is a valid setup. What I need to be aware of if I play b3, let's say black plays bishop d7, yeah, some move like that. If I go b3, there might be knight takes e4. Very typical tactical idea, exploiting the weakness of this long diagonal. So maybe I need to play a further preparation move. For example, something like rook to b1 and only then b3. That is not a bad move anyway. Rook b1. The bishop on b2, even if I could play b3, bishop b2, it's very often helpful to have the bishop protected so that a further knight d5 is supported. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Or let's briefly check. Yeah, I think it makes sense anyway, this move. The problem that black faces in a way in this particular form of the Maroczy bind is with this queen d4, queen e3 thing, there is no knight on d4. And very often black's typical setup involves a knight trade. Trading knights on d4 is happening very often in the Maroczy. So that after the knights are off the board, you actually gain the c6 the c6 square for your bishop, so that you can, after the knight trade, play bishop d7 to c6, maybe a5, knight d7 to c5. Black lacks space here in the Maroczy bind, and he likes to trade one or two pieces. This is also why h3 is played, yeah, making sure that bishop g4 is not helping black to reduce the pressure. Okay, let's see. Not quite sure what black's idea is. With knight d7. Yeah, you can of course try to go to c5, but it is it is not a very stable position for the knight. I can hit it with b4. Queen b6. Yeah, this is a possibility that queen b6 is this idea. Yeah, but that's not really going to help him much. What I wonder is, should I play b3 or should I even play b4 here? Could be just the more active move. Yeah, well, why not actually? Just controlling the c5 square. Well, knight c5 wasn't a threat, but if you can expand here, why not? If he goes queen b6 here, I'll just play queen d2, I think. This was my idea at least. Hitting him with knight d5 later, and then bishop b2. Yeah, yeah, black could try knight d2 e5 actually. This could be an idea to trade one of the knights. Yeah, this is in fact an idea that I like. Knight d2 e5. Yeah, probably rook d1 then is a good idea. Okay, it tries to trade queens. Yeah, the question is some other square than d2. d2 looks like the most obvious square. I can also play knight d5. It's not totally crazy, but it would somewhat speed up my development. Yeah, queen takes, bishop takes, but a queen trade is normally helping black here. As mentioned, he has less space, and you welcome trades if you suffer from space disadvantage. Yeah, of course he cannot take on b4. There's knight d5 or a3 winning the piece. Knight d5 probably being the easiest. Yeah, that's yeah, I thought he should have played that without queen b6. But okay. That's of course a very tempting move. Yeah, knight d5 and maybe just bishop b2 after that. Okay, let's do it. Okay, if I take now on e5, there is also the move d takes e5 to consider, giving him a very nice outpost on d4. I don't really want to allow that. Yeah, I rather play bishop b2. If it goes e6, I can drop back to e3 as well. And this position isn't totally terrible for black. I mean, I prefer white simply because I like to have the space advantage very much, but don't think he's in absolutely terrible shape. Bishop e6, for example, still looks very viable.
Check.
Okay. Maybe he can play. Yeah, maybe he can do that. Taking on b2. Yeah, let's say bishop b2, queen b2, and then maybe e5, intending knight d4. Yeah, okay, just bishop b2. Yeah, there's no real no real reason to spend time on this. So he went for an entirely different approach. So a move like f4, you would just take on c4. Yeah. Yeah, okay. This is probably this probably needs to be played in any way, in any case. I wonder if f4 here is interesting. I think I should try to play aggressively in the center. Yeah. Where is he going? I mean, knight c6. There is this. I can take and play queen c3, winning a piece. So he probably needs to go to d7. Yeah. Yeah, I think if he needs to go to d7, then f4 is worth playing. I'm not planning a kingside attack, but I just want to control those squares, e5 in particular. Yeah, here I thought actually that I'm winning the c-pawn, am I not? Okay, he can take on b2 himself, but still. Yeah, if he takes here, I take on g7, queen d4, and queen c4, winning this pawn. So he probably has to do that. Yeah, and now rook takes or queen takes. Rook takes probably. Yeah, rook takes, I guess. And now, now probably queen d4, preventing e6 because of knight d4. I wonder. I also can play f5. f5 is also a move. Yeah, f5, maybe bishop b7. No? Just taking this knight no matter what. The other alternative is queen d4. With that essentially is winning a pawn. I mean, let's do that. Come on. I don't see how he keeps the c4 pawn here. Maybe bishop a6, covering it for the moment, threatening c3. But if I play something like rook c1 and a4, I mean, I don't think he can keep the pawn. Yeah, well, now I can take it. Yeah, and I think I should really. At least after that I have a pretty clear winning idea. Two protected two passes, A and B pawn. Now, there is no particular counterplay. And note that here I took with the rook on b2, not with the queen, because I wanted to put the queen on d4 anyway. So rook takes b2, basically won a tempo. So he took on d5 here. Okay, yeah. How do you take it? Yeah, with the pawn, this might become a weakness. The d5 pawn. This seems easier.
Check.
It wasn't totally clear cut. Taking with the pawn also had the merits, because the e7 pawn then is much easier to attack. Oh, I wonder about f5 here. He has no move to attack my pieces, right? Yeah, let's do that. f5. After rook f8 especially, this move is interesting. Okay, so he's attacking my rook here on f1. Unfortunately, really nothing to take here, for example. f1 protects f7. Okay, so we have this straight, which is not a big deal. I mean, I have two protected passes. Connected passes. So should I just push the pawns? Yeah, probably. First, get rid of this weak pawn. Yeah, and now I can play a4 and b5, just giving up e4. Yeah, it should win. It's a matter of timing. I'm just too quick. He will get with rook e5, e4. He will get the pawn, but I will just be too quick with the b pawn. So move it now. b6, rook a4, b7, rook b8, rook c1, and over. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Also rook a1 was possible, and then pushing the pawns. Yeah, with the rook on the second rank, he also has no last hope counterplay with rooks on the second rank or something. Oh. Did I miss something? Thought this was pretty clear cut. Yeah, I think it is. Rook c8 is with a check, so, or like this, winning the rook basically with rook b7. Oh, he's continuing that. Let's see. Yeah, probably switching to an attack from the front here. Now I'm threatening rook f1, winning one of those pawns. That's not. Yeah, this is the way to play against that. Yeah, but still, a rook is a rook is a rook.
Black resigns.
Yeah, it's really a bit pointless if the opponent has got 6 minutes on the clock. Okay, so let's think about this a moment. About around here it looked very normal. I think white is comfortable, but it shouldn't be anything out of the ordinary. So rook b1 was designed to prepare b3, but also maybe b4, and after knight d7 I felt tempted to go for b4. Yeah, and yeah, this is in fact a point. The computer now points out the move that that I actually had mentioned in the game. This knight de5 move. This is probably a bit better. The idea is that here I have trouble to avoid a piece trade, and if I take myself, then this move becomes very interesting, using the d4 square. I probably after this play something like rook d1, and it's quite similar to the game, but note that this sends the queen back, and I'm sort of have one or two moves here. Just briefly, the computer here wants to play this move, which I had discarded because I didn't want to trade. I mean, is it really that bad? The comp gives white a pretty substantial advantage. Stockfish is the engine I'm using here. Tja, I'm not sure. I mean, white is certainly not worse, that's clear, but normally you don't want to trade queens or trade any piece that if you don't necessarily need to in the Maroxy because of your space advantage. And does still feel that this should be relatively okay.
Check.
For black, I mean. Yeah, this I don't like. I think black should really consider this and putting the knight on d4. This is just a playable position for black with no big problems. Something like this might be an idea, so that this becomes a possibility. That's pretty good for white actually. So he probably shouldn't play knight d4 immediately and go for something like that. Yeah, and that's just a playable position. And here I think the weaknesses start to tell. Yeah, here rook takes is better than queen takes, as I want to go to d4 anyway. Yeah, and here black basically loses the pawn. This is not really helping much. I know this was my idea. The computer plays rook c2. It wants to take on c4 with the b rook. Is this worse in any way? Not much. Bishop b5. Yeah, here I thought this one was good. Comp wants to play a4 with the big edge. Yeah, a4, bishop takes, rook c4, and then rook c7 probably coming. Yeah, white is really just better here in various ways. Yeah, here e takes is also okay.
Check.
Yeah, this invites f5 really, but it's I think beyond saving. The two pawns are too much. Yeah, and here, well, I think what I did is totally sufficient. And here, yeah, probably rook to b7, but the two pawns will decide. Here, he cannot really avoid the loss of this rook. So he could have put up a tougher defense around here. Probably the immediate knight d to e5 is the best way to get a decent position. All right, thanks for watching.